Greetings, bloggers, vloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty, here at you with another edition of this week's vlog. Today is Friday, March the 1st, 2024, and it's amazing to say that with such sound resoundance, because we have made such a journey from where we were 6 months ago. We are from relapse to resilience. And that for no for anyone that's a hard feat, but for me who's lived it tried and true and has done what he has needed to do over time, it has gotten to a good point where it is actually where I'm actually in a good spot right now. And 6 months ago, I was definitely not in that good place. Um, you can read back further to understand. You can read my blog, or go back farther in time and read my vlog at a further video. Might tag one up here, but the past 6 months has been really a real learning curve. Really starting nearly at a baseline. So a little backstory about it is 2 months prior. So we're talking June 2023, mid-June 2023, I took a very decisive decision to forgo to just stop taking 2 doses of medicine a day. Within time that withdrew, probably about 2 months, and at the end of August 2023, I started to have some signs of decomposition, um, mental decomposition, and other people really noticed. And it really started first with my family noticing, as they were really close with me, and they had to let me be independent and make those decisions. And I wasn't making sound decisions, and I wasn't even telling them the truth until it all crashed. And people were trying to help me, and they couldn't. And that was really hard at the end. And where I was on August 29th, 2023 was at my where my former office was located. I still go in the building. We just don't go in the office space anymore. And that was the last day I was there, because we were in the process of getting ready to move to our building where we are now. And the only thing in the room was there was another desk for my coworker, and there was my desk. And there was only desk in there, and there was nothing else. And I was just a mess that day, and it was really dumb. It was spiraling days before the weekend before, but it got really bad in the days coming to. Um, I had not did things that Dustin doesn't normally do, and it started to play out, and people started to be concerned. And concern, and I used to be angry when people were concerned for me, but now I see their love and their care and their willingness to understand and want to help. So August 29th, 2023, I'd come to terms that I was in a very bad manic episode. Alongside autism, I have bipolar disorder, and I had reached this low. So it took me some time to get back on track. Um, Immediately I had to be on home on bed rest to get back on track. And part of that was immediately the next day. So we're talking August 30th, 2023. I just made the decision to withdraw from soda, particularly ones with caffeine in it first, but no soda for like 5 days. And it was hard. The headaches were tough. The headaches were challenging, but it took time, and I got my medicine, and I got on the right track. But it wasn't easy in the beginning. I was off work for 42 work days. So it was like 6 or 7 weeks. Thankfully, I live in low income housing, so I wasn't deeply affected, but I also was impulsively spending. I had a bad spending habit for the first month. I went crazy, and I wasn't totally grounded. The medicine wasn't totally grounded in me. And it was a battle, but thankfully my family was there to support me, and I can't thank them ever enough for that. Um, but they were able to get me on track and help support me during this time. It took some time. I got back into programming a little more. It seemed things seemed to go on track, and eventually I did go to where I work now, to the building where I work now, and where my office is. And that was an adjustment. It had many good things and it had some challenging things that I thought were going to be challenging, but I'm excelling at them. I'm doing better. Um, I was doing things that I learned how to cope in my own way. And of course, I had tons of accommodations along the path as I've run the job that I've had for 14 years. So there was no issue when it came to that. But, it's just one thing. My life is always one thing after another. And once I got settled into work and seemed to be going pretty well. Um, it took time for the mania to get dissipate and the medicine to really kick in and work. And it really made me realize how important the medicine is. And you know, even even as I know the medicine is important, there are people who think that medicine doesn't work or it causes side effects. And indeed, it does cause side effects. But it's the side effects that I'm trying to come to terms with and learn to count and how to counteract things such as weight gain or other things that I may feel about myself. But mentally, I'm well. And that's, I feel, what matters the most. It's an understanding and acceptance of not only the medicine, but many other things about myself that I need to come to terms with. And I did. It took till about recently to come to terms with some of those things. But it's truly grateful. And I can't ever I can't ever be grateful enough um for the work that I've put into it. And I know we say recovery is a journey and it's not a destination, and so is happiness. It's a journey. Recovery is a journey. Mental health recovery is a journey, and it takes time to get where you want to go on that journey. And everybody has their stop and everybody has their place. And for me, it took longer to accept things about myself, um, such as um, where I lie within my own realm, within, other realms, and just learning where I lie. And then there were some blows that I received in late 2023. One of the biggest, I would say, is that the van that the way I got to and from a day services and work, for nearly 20 years, many times in my day services, I was utilizing agency um or the program vehicles to get to and from there and the work site. That didn't change in December of this past year. It was not any it was a decision that had to be made, and it had to be made rather abruptly. And it was something that I struggled with for a minute. Um, you know, I struggled with many things in that process. The work moved, but then it was now this transportation piece. And it was something that I struggled with because it had a deep negative history to it. A lot of people said things about it, but it also had to rebrand itself, the transportation entity, the county paratransit service had to rebrand itself and rebuild the trust in the consumer. And I had to put the faith in because at the initially when I was told, I was very gun ho about not using it. I said I would rather dig out of dumpsters to survive. I would rather dig food out of dumpsters at grocery stores to survive and actually, try to make a living that way. And I knew it wouldn't work, but I knew I had to keep working. And in order to keep working, this was something that had to be necessitated for me. Um, it's not always easy, and it wasn't, but I was patient with myself, and I had to be patient with myself. It was a learning curve. Learning how to do a new routine, how to go to bed earlier than I expected to, because that is transitioning to the end of the day is something I struggle with. So I knew I had to work at that, and I'm still working at that. But it took time to build that and understand that and know where I go along that path. But and then eventually, once I got situated and once I got accustomed to how things work, um, it was amazing. And as the Christmas and New Year's passed, which was amazing also. Um, at the beginning, at the middle of January, I was told that that I would be eventually that program service from program to work and work to program transportation would cease, and that I would be responsible for doing that on my own. I could arrange that on my own, or I could have program staff assist with that, but I felt pretty confident that I could manage my own funds with that, and because I have to pay out of pocket to go to work, and that I could make my own arrangements, um, because of how articulate I am and how much attention to detail I have. So um, that was last month's thing, and so it's 2023. It's 2024. I'm sorry. It's 2024. And we're just getting so beginning that journey and realizing that things do change in life and accepting those changes and going through so many of those changes over the course of the past 6 months, all while enduring getting back on track with my medications and understanding the importance of them and understanding that they're every day and realizing that there's more changes coming ahead and that I'm going to have to be at my A game all the time and that I'm going to always have to be my best and always take my medicine. That was something hard that I had to accept too. There wasn't cheat days or days where I couldn't be my best or I could fake being my best just because I knew I could get away with it. That was something hard to accept and hard reality. But, there were things that happened even more so, announcements and such, and things that happened within the past few weeks and the past month or two that I had to accept and realize that, this is a now or never sort of thing, and that I have to get myself back on track no matter how hard it is. Now, granted, I'm not going to beat myself up about the past. What happened in the past is what happened in the past. But the importance is that I move forward with my life and try to build a new life for me, a life that is finally what I want, and understanding where I want to be in life. Also, realizing that even though it was not regretting my past mistakes, but understanding that what left at my parents' door with as far as my medications and the life that I had, still carried on in some pieces here, that, in my own independent life, that there are things that are just necessary, like sleep, medication, and those things. And I do those things well when I have the environment ability to do so. And understanding that. That's, understanding that, it's important now than ever. It's like you're on borrowed time. And I keep feeling like I'm on borrowed time where I only have so much time to get things right. And some things happen, and just, as far as, understanding within the environment and my living environment. And also, just things of changes that are going to be happening in 2024 and into 2025. It's always going to need me to be at my A game and always understanding, how things operate and how things do, and working at bettering myself, including my health, my physical health, along with my mental health, basically all dimensions of wellness, even financial health as well, to understand how important things are in the world, to understand that, it's important to always be alert and kept of things, and knowing when you have to do the right things, and knowing that it's important to keep a routine going and doing it every day. It's always important to understand that, it's just, something I have to understand. And to be amazed that I've gone through 6 months of just some of the most amazing progress. But I also need to understand as well the fact that the fact of learning that, I have to work at keep building that momentum and keep it going, because it's been a long road I've been on, and I'm good 38 years old, and we still have more time left, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to be easy to go away, but I have to continue to build the momentum to keep the ball rolling forward towards the better, and not continuing to build the destructive path that I was. I understand now that I can't be living the deconstructive path that I was living, and understanding what is essential in life and what is needed in life, and working towards a better life for myself. Understanding that, it's just something that has to be done, and things have to be done a certain way. And, there are just some things that are necessary. Sleep and medicine are one of those, and, they were not ignoring them was something that, got me to the point that caused me to go into relapse. And we can never reevaluate things or understand things until we realize where we are, if we stay on track and see the progress may be happening by, me working to counteract the weight gain, or trying to eat sensibly and work at things better. Um, Doing things such as losing weight, or being more physically active, are never easy, and it takes time to understand and accept that for what it is. um I could be angry, and I could be upset at myself, and I could be down on myself, but I persevere, and I am resilient, and I keep going no matter what. It can be hard sometimes, and sometimes you think the worst possible things in your head, but you have to do it. And I think I've done what I've needed done prior to the starting to do the destructive decisions of June 2023. And they've been proven to work. Yeah, did some things make me angry? Yes, they did. But I have to see that I am making progress from even 2 or 3 years ago. And even just thinking about 4 or 5 years ago, even before, even decades ago, how much progress I made, and just the resounding progress that I have worked to make in just even 3 short months of transitioning to this transportation program, and just getting myself back on track. It's something I just don't I can't imagine sometimes, but it was something that had to be done. And sometimes when you're told things that you don't want to hear, and especially when there are things that are part of your daily life, such as the transportation piece that I had to experience, sometimes you have to do what's right. And sometimes you look to other people for experience and say, hey, they're doing it, and they've struggled with it too, and they've been through it for 10 years. And if they can do it, I sure can do it. Sometimes you have to look to your fellow peers for, some sort of, for sort of guidance or understanding. And it's not always easy to understand things. It's not always easy to accept change, and change is hard. Change for me is hard, but accepting it and realizing that, you got to do it, because if your livelihood depends on it, then you have to do it. And I knew I had to have a life, and this is what I have to do. And yeah, part of that's going to have changes this year too. And I need to be at my A game for that. But, it's just going to be a good year, I think. And, moving forward, I think I'm finally getting it under control after so long of the ups and downs and so long of the battles. I think I'm just finally getting it under control. It's getting to a better place where I understand the necessity of things and not, just the abrasiveness or the standoffish or the stubborn self who wants to do whatever I want to do, and I can't do that. Sometimes because somebody did something they advocated for you 25 years ago and got you what you needed or did what they needed to do, and it's still working, and it may not be the way that you may want it to work, or it may be some things that you don't want to experience, but you have to accept them for what they are because you are doing well. And that is something I know it's like me giving a talk in the mirror, but it is. It's like I have to understand that I'm doing well at what I'm doing. And it's accepting that and living that dream and understanding how important things are sometimes. It's counting your blessings and being grateful for the things you have in life. So I think that's all I'm going to talk about today because I think that pretty much summed it up in a short summary of the past 6 months. Let's hope we can make the next 6 months good. I think it's amazing that I've came this far in 6 months, and I'm not doing that as a way to toot my own horn. It is a way to just say it's been 6 months and I've stayed on track and I'm doing way better. So, I think that's important. I think that's, just something that, I understand and I want to see and know and do and just be a part of. All right. So with that being said, I want to thank you for listening today. Be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube or any other platform that I'm on. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, or X I call it now, and or Pinterest that handles Dustin's Dynasty, and I'm also on Linktree. That handle is Dustin's Dynasty. Again, I want to thank you for listening. I want to remind you to take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves along with each other. Have a great day, have a great weekend, and stay safe out there. We'll talk at you soon. Bye for now.